Okay, says we are live here. Um, I guess we should check on the other computer here and see if it is indeed live. And hopefully we won't get too much feedback. Let me turn down the stereo. Well, looky there. Oh. So, the feed I am looking at on the YouTube page is flipped in reverse. And it's about a 20-second delay, as near as I can tell. But it is working. All right. So here we are. This is going to be a test. We're just testing out YouTube and Google Hangout. And so far it has more features than what Ustream has that I tried yesterday. And then Ustream would not let you stream and record at the same time. So at least here we are getting a recording of the output for future posterity, whatever that means. So we can't see the painting. So how do we fix that? I'll have to move the painting. Here, we'll move the painting behind me. That's what we'll do. Let's move the painting behind me. All right. Hold on. Un momento, por favor, senors and senoritas. All right. So I had a good Facebook chat with Joey Carbo earlier, and so far it's looking like maybe Friday, sometime Friday, we'll get together and he'll be at his house and I'll be here and we will chat about his new album he made. He made a soundtrack for a novel called Bone River. And Bone River is also by a Louisiana author. Uh, Here it is. His name is Benjamin S. Lowenkron, or Lowenkron? Lowenkron, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And Benjamin S. Lowenkron. And so yesterday, every Saturday, I work on this house downtown. I'm building a outdoor woodshed out of pressure treated wood, but they want me to make it really, really strong. And so, and I'm also taking care of little things around the house there too. But they pointed out to me that there was this raccoon stuck in some electrical wires under the house, and Well, that's one of the things I got to figure out this week is how to inlay photographs in the video feed. But this raccoon got hung up in two electrical wires that were wire nutted together, and he spun around, I guess, when he got hung up in them and twisted himself together in the wires, and then at some point he got electrocuted, he got fried. And so his ass is up in the air with the wires going through him, and then with his head down, like buried in the ground, laying down on the ground. And so I had to figure out what circuit it was so I can get the power off safely. Figured out what circuit it was and undid the wire nuts and then pulled one wire out from through his body very carefully so I wouldn't ruin the mummified remains. There's part of his skin is on the back. And then so I bagged him in three little shopping bags. And then I got a little zip bag or Ziploc bag. And then went through and then found his hip bones and his whole tail was there laying in the ground and tried to pick up all the little bones. So my brother Peter Echo will have a complete, hopefully a complete skeleton. But the only way that critters are going to hang up underneath your house is if, one, you have a food source, and two, you have a water source. So if your plumbing don't leak, and you're pretty clean about how you keep your kitchen and storing your dry goods, and then you can limit your critters. Doesn't matter whether they're insects or mammals. So when they said that the homeowners of this house where this raccoon got trapped, if they said they thought the raccoons had a nest underneath the tub, and so I need to crawl underneath there and take a look at the tub, make sure there's nothing dripping on the tub, run water, and make sure nothing dripping on the tub. So then I claim to be an expert in nothing except maybe plumbing, but other than that, it's just my ideas and my opinions, and I'm not here to sway anybody or preach on my high horse. Just here to share my experiences, and hopefully we get more of the local artists and local musicians over here. I used to back in '96 I toured with Lollapalooza and won a radio contest and for what was it 17 weeks 17 weeks we were on the road with Lollapalooza, and so after that when I got back to Dallas I started videotaping some of the local bands that I ran into on the tour, and once I moved to Louisiana and in the late '90s I continued and hung out with a bunch of bands, and we'd go and videotape them at their shows just to archive them and preserve it, but give them a copy of their performance. Didn't charge anybody anything to do it, just like I don't now. I just wanted to kind of do like in a small way, like what that Lomax dude did back in the 30s and 40s, and instead of taping blues artists, I was taping bands like Nadja and Kali Yuga and the Eastern Bloc, who one of the guitarists of the Eastern Bloc was this cat named Joey Carbo, and been knowing him since he'd been a teenager, and so hopefully we're going to have him here Friday to talk about how he made this soundtrack for a novel. I'm supposed to get a copy of the novel. Hopefully, I can have a couple days to read through it and listen to the music at the same time. I've already heard the music, but I'd like to read the novel and listen to the music and get the whole cross-media experience before we sit down and talk about it, and how he got contacted, and the story behind what's happening here with this cross-media venture. Making a soundtrack for a book that's just not an audiobook. It's music, and then the novel standalone by itself. So there we go. Let's little test of what's happening, and the music, if you can hear it, is some old bipolar Diversia stuff of that I did with this cat named Jesse Mitchell many moons ago. Back when I lived in Spanish Town, the late '90s, early 2000s. So this is our new experiment, new venture, the steampunk, down to earth, friendly bipolar hour. And I thought about sticking ADD in there somehow, or ADHD, or whatever the hell they call it. You know, squirrel. Oh, false alarm. But but the title seems to emote that quality, anyways. So there you go. So we'll talk about all kinds of stuff, depending on our guests, and we may talk about nothing at all. We may play some music or build something. You know, I like to build stuff. I like to make things out of recycled and reclaimed materials. So who knows where this will lead? I'm not no fancy pants like Mr. Joe Rogan there, but I think we got some value to provide and insight, and you know, maybe we can share some stuff together. All right, test number 2 of the steampunk down to earth friendly bipolar hour, and we're broadcasting live from just on the other side of the Garden District near Government Park in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And I guess here this next Saturday is a big St. Patrick's Day parade. So if anybody on the route wants to let us hang out, we can come over on our bicycles and hang out and watch the parade with you. All right, thank you for watching, and have a wonderful evening, and peace.